Hello world, I'm back. Oh man, am I back. Went out to do a couple errands after this morning's early read. Oh, my Atlanta, there's been a real... I'd love to post more, but currently it takes like 9,000 hours to upload what normally takes like 20 minutes to upload a video, maybe 25 if it's a whisper longer. 3.5 hours to upload this morning's video. Anyway, and then the world, finger on the pulse, there's a real vibe out there. I did my very best. And then I just came home because I thought, you know what? It's peaceful here. And in my walking around, I did receive a few downloads. And after I did the first video, I titled it Long Night Moon, based off of the Moon Oracle card, because that was the moon that it came with. But then when I was out and about doing errands, I was like, I felt the need to Google it. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna Google Long Night Moon, see what else pops up. And it pulled up an author, Amanda Peters, who wrote a book called, I think it's In the Night, or In the Long Night Moon. There's just like a couple extra words. Again, so terrible with names. I should have wrote it down. Didn't. Classic me. But going back to when I was in the cemetery, the only other name that stood out besides my family name was the last name Peters. Now, I do have a friend whose last name is Peters, but it had stood out. But I kind of ignored it because I was like, well, I don't know, like I felt more the focus was on my family name and just kind of things, and then how that fit into the collective of like family lines ending and stuff like that. But then when I saw Amanda Peters, it went back to that cemetery, and just the fact that like Long Night Moon, I was really moved by that title. Anyway, I looked up the book. She's Canadian. Hello, Canada. Looks like a delightful author. And I read kind of the synopsis. Anyway, long story short, I'm gonna go track down this book, either from the library, I'm gonna buy it. Yeah, there's definitely through the lens of being Indigenous, which is kind of my jam. And I like to support my all-time favorite author in the whole wide world, Louise Erdrich. Man. And yeah, she's an Indigenous writer out of Minnesota, has a great little bookstore. I own most of her books, and the very first book is called Love Medicine. Highly recommend it. But anyways, I'm not really into this Amanda Peters, so I don't know if there's something in the book. I'm gonna try to track it down. I really love to try to get the libraries to order it in, so I can keep a flow, and then I can pass it around. But we'll see, I might just have to order it, because currently my library does not have a very good Anglo selection. So anyway, so that came up. So if anyone watched the other video and then loves books and feels the need to explore that book too, I don't know. I'm gonna go find it. Amanda Peters is also based out of Halifax, so like, I don't know, maybe some of you are from the Maritimes. If you're not, I noticed that I don't look at my stats too often. I see I have a lot of Americans. Hello, America. In this time of chaos in America, if you need a little reprieve, the Maritimes is a great place. Highly recommend it. You couldn't have a more friendlier few provinces than the Maritimes. Really recommend it. Okay. So, when I was walking, I heard and I saw, I usually see first. I see, especially phonetically. So I saw Worrier, and then Warrior. And again, in my last video, I was talking about this. I'm always looking at words and deconstructing and seeing other things and whatever. And then Spirit was like, the Worrier versus the Warrior. And I was like, okay, Spirit. It's a great topic. Let's do it. So I really wanted to show, and I've kind of been talking about this type of thing in some of the other videos, even for myself, of like the things that we like to control, the things that trick us into think that we're in control. So really, worrying is just kind of the end result of, in a deduced kind of state, that you don't feel like you're in control. And if you do believe in something, you definitely feel like they're not handling it. Because if you're worrying about it, it means that you feel like no one's minding the store. So you better start minding the store. And then I even Googled Worrier, because I was like, I know what it means, but let's just see if there's like a key phrase or something within the dictionary. And it said something to the effect of like someone who dwells and obsesses over terrible things, or like the more negative emotion. I think it was terrible. But I thought that was interesting too, going back to like, I'd said in another video, like, why do we choose to have the preference of pleasure over pain? Like, there's just certain things that humans were geared towards having a preference for. Now, I in my life have definitely been a worrier, and I've really moved away from that energy, just like guilt. I'd much rather be in, what's the term? Oh my God. They keep saying the word reject, but that's not the word, but it's the word I keep hearing. Oh, for the love of... Okay, let's move along. Spirit, if you want to bring that one back anytime, please. Okay. But going back to the energy of worrying. So in the same breath, while they're kind of, we're giving me downloads about the Worrier versus the Warrior, they also brought me back to an artist, a musician, Ani DeFranco. Great musician, great artist. She really definitely influenced part of my guitar playing style, as well as a lot of other musicians. But there's this one song that I love from her earliest albums. The song's called Building and Bridges. So I was listening to it in my mind. She gets to this part where she says, what doesn't bend breaks. And then they took me back again to the energy of things. Like, when we're wanting to control, it's like an iron fist. You don't want to let go. You don't want to let go. You're holding on tight. It's rigid. Nothing can move. Nothing can grow under those conditions. So when you're in a state of receptivity, being in the state of the creative solution, being in the state of faith and trust, it really is like an open palm. And you'll hear me talk about this in a lot of videos, like being detracted, like when what we call terrible things, when things happen to us or what we think is happening to us, doesn't matter what it is, we can detract our energy, we close our hearts down, you know, even our body language. There's all those body language experts. Like, if you're someone who likes to cross your arms a lot, hold this stance, that's a really defensive posturing. That is not an open posture, you know? So be mindful, like how do you carry your body? What does your body language say to the world, you know? Yeah, the bending and breaking. And I personally keep coming back to this. The harder shit gets, and I'm telling you, it's been a 900 out of 10. Terrible, just terrible. Wouldn't recommend it. I haven't had the most fun the last few years. The worse it gets, it's counterintuitive. I just get softer. And that's also what I hear from my spirit team, is just like, go counterintuitive. The worse it gets, the more violent, extreme, terrible, you're living out your worst nightmares. It just seemingly never ends, and it seemingly just gets worse. Like, get softer. Open your heart even more. Because really, the thing that's going to break you is that rigidity. mentally, you know, when I look at the things that almost took me out in the last 4 years, even just the fight, wanting to fight, you know, take down a real motherfucker, you know, even if it's righteous or not, it doesn't matter. It's like the energy of like detraction, annihilating, destruction, you know? Because then they showed me the other example. I have a short story that I wrote. And the beginning starts off with this mother talking to a child, an older child, like their child, but an older person, but giving this advice of like, stay limber, and using the example of like why most drunk drivers survive the car crash and sometimes like come out completely unscathed. Not always, but like more often than not, out of all the people in the vehicle, the drunk driver is usually like maybe has a bruise, but it's because in their drunkenness they're so relaxed on impact that, again, it just... So staying limber, and then like the willow tree. And it's weird because I had mentioned the willow tree in another video, but it was in relationship to a headache I had, and I was talking about birch. And then anyway, we're getting into medicine stuff. But the idea, again, it's like the more flexible and open and just bendy, just like move with it, you know? When your ass is getting tossed, the seas are throwing you around, the winds of hell and of change are blowing. Instead of, you know, just let it blow you. Just move with it, you know? And then going back to the warrior, because really what Spirit is saying is we have a bunch of warriors in the crowd that are actually warriors, and we need to flip it. Get you out of that energy and into the warrior. Because really, the warrior, and revisiting something I had mentioned in another video, is fully commit to your decisions. Once you make a decision, go all in on it. Stand by it. It doesn't even have to be the right decision, but like any kind of indecisiveness or giving your power away and asking a million of people for their hot dog brained opinions. Be decisive, be direct, and stand firm on it. And like with any warrior, when you were going into battle, again, you weren't fooling yourself. There was a high probability you're probably going to end up dead or really injured, and that didn't deter them from going all in, committing to showing up fully, committing to the piece, committing to the bit, committing to the act. If you're going to do something, go the whole way, commit to it. That's like a warrior spirit. No matter the outcome. No matter the outcome. And it's your decision. And it's for you to decide whatever. So if you make a decision and maybe the outcome wasn't what you wanted, be proud in the fact, though, that you committed to it. You made a decision. You weren't being all loosey-goosey about it, giving your power away, and then if it didn't end up, then you blamed it on someone else. Now you commit to it. You stand by it. And then whatever happens, happens. And it's kind of that, in the realm of stoicism, what I call like the proverbial okay, where it's just like, all right. But the point is, it's the showing up fully, wholly, committing. They're really emphasizing this. Commit. And also because worrying, really, like what are you doing? You're not solving anything. Nothing gets solved in worry. Because again, going back to the creative solution, like, yes, real life stuff is always happening. I'm not trying to downplay that. I'm a human being too, living out some real life nightmares currently. And it's very challenging to not step into worry. But again, it's about asking the questions. A, what am I so worried about? What is the worst case scenario? And even if those worst case scenarios played out, what does that mean for me? Really getting philosophical. Asking yourself questions. Paying attention. The emotional barometer. Always. Again, I keep saying it, I'm going to keep saying it. All the information is here. You can't hear something if you're going around smashing, and we're saying that more kind of like metaphorically, like the buzz of worry. It's kind of like the Two of Swords and the Eight of Swords cards in that one deck where it's like birds. It's very loud, it's very flappy, it's very, in that softness, it's like it's an extension of a hand. It's an offering, being like, you know what, universe, I don't know. But what I do know is I'm probably not going to come to my best thinking in this state. And again, I'm always having to apply this to my own life. It's not like just because I do tarot cards that I just wake up easy breezy. Some days it is easy breezy, and then some days like today, I go into the world and everyone, I stepped into the marché for one hot second, marché being the grocery store. And it was like everyone, I thought it'd be a real quiet moment. My favorite place to go to just unwind sometimes is just the supermarket. Like, give me a 24-hour supermarket where I can just go and walk up each and every aisle and look at every single thing, not buy anything. It's just sometimes where I do my best thinking. I go to debrief, de-escalate, But today, everyone and their dog was in this grocery store. And no one was being very mindful. Like, people were just, like, crashing into each other. And I'm really of this energy of today, like, don't fucking touch me. Don't come near me. Don't bump into me. Don't rub up against me. Don't look at me. When it's like a frenetic energy outside and you're really just trying to, and you're doing your best to navigate, and then, anyway, that's why I came home, because I was like, no bueno, no thanks. Also, let's go back to halt. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Do I have some halt folks in the crowd? Because I always say this, if I'm fussy, just give me a bowl of pasta. What did I do? I came home and made some spaghettis, made a little bolognese. Little bear don't care now. Feeling a lot better. Now, mind you, I'm not alone in the world. There is a real vibe. And there was a bit of a vibe yesterday. Again, irritating. Just nothing tragic. Irritating. And before I wanted to do this video, this ding-dong that likes to park right outside. He doesn't live around here, but he does his business. Who knows what? Big fancy car, maybe drugs, probably. Who knows? I don't know. And I love techno, but this guy, fuck, like the windows were shaking. It was like boom, 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 boom. And I was like, oh my God, like serenity now. So you see, we're all just human. We're all doing the best that we can. We just have to do a little bit better. And sometimes in a moment, a little bit better is just like literally not hitting someone over the head with a frying pan. Sometimes it's not telling someone to go fat fuck themselves, where you just kind of zip it. You think it and go, you know what? Normally my go-to would be like, go fat fuck yourself. So sometimes you have to evaluate what a little bit better is, and sometimes it's just incremental. That's okay. It's better to do a little bit better than not do a little bit better. Okay. So that was a download. Oh yeah, and then the other night, because this felt like it was a message too. So sitting on the backyard, had my little freedom toes out. I love the nighttime out there. And this little fucking cutie, this little orange cat, just popped out of nowhere. Just the fucking cutest. His temperament was just beautiful. He had this big long tail, and he had me laughing. His energy was so delightful, but it was a total surprise. He shocked me. But I feel like, again, all of my messages as of late, there's a lot of surprises and finding love, or things when you kind of least expect it. Again, it doesn't have to be love. I know a lot of these meetings are showing up love, but I really encourage, like, not everyone here is looking for love, Amen. Not to say I'm not looking for love. It doesn't really matter. Like, I'm just peaceful, So that's why I'm really mindful of the crowd. It's like, not everyone, like, I'm single as a Pringle. Have been for many years now. Very happy about it. Like, yeah. There's just something about peace. And so, as much as I love doing love readings, and I love love, and I'm sure, I'm sure at some point, love might knock on my door. It's not about that though. But I'm just more, my point is that if you're a person who keeps finding yourself to readings, like, romantic love is not the be-all end-all. And that's why even in this morning's reading, like, the emphasis on a best friend, like, there's so many other more interesting types of love for me than just romantic. Like, man, the newest love of my life is that 90-year-old client that I have. I love him like he was my own family. I do. My heart goes boom, boom, boom. He's just magic. He's just the most beautiful human I've ever met in a long time, you know? And that's like a real thing, and it's not contingent. This is why the romantic love is beautiful. And I love that there's soulmates coming in for people. And I believe in love, and I think that's great. But romantic love is one of that, like, the small areas of the love section that it's really easy to have conditional love. And especially once you add sex to the mix, like a best friend, when there's nothing to gain, someone just loves you unconditionally because they just like your face, they think you're funny, and they want to do adventures with you. Because again, you're not knocking sticks and knocking boots. Like me and this old guy, you know? It's just based off of a genuine connection. I don't need anything from him. He doesn't need anything from me, even though he's a client. But like outside of that, like, it's really just like, again, open hands, giving and receiving and appreciating. I just appreciate him. I really value and treasure this human, and it's not based off of anything other than just his presence. Okay. Well, okay, Spirit, had me all over the place. Okay, what do we want to talk about? The Warrior. Should we pull a card from Kim? I think we should. Okay. Let's explore the Warrior versus the Worrier. Yeah, committing. Committing. Oh, I'm also hearing, though, speaking of committing. Oh, I just said I want to go love. I always get the love messages. Now, again, I'm a Gemini. I'm ruled by the lovers, so no one loves love more than me. I think it's fantastic. I do keep hearing, I do. So someone really is thinking of someone where it's just, it's a yes. It's a yes to the dress. I do. So that's for someone. Okay, let's refocus. Let's put into the cards. We're focusing on the Worrier versus the Warrior. Spirit, what would you like to say? Okay, hold on. Some of these. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, hold on. The card's being a little bit crazy, a little bit sticky. I like it when it's clear. Okay. Okay, so let's get one card for the Warrior. The old Worrier. Ooh. Anima Mundi. Ooh, I love when new cards pop out. There's been a few readings where the same cards popped out and it applied to the message, but I always get excited. Okay, a little sticky guys here. Okay, so that one's for the Warrior. Now let's go to the Warrior. Whoa, the Eternal Child. Oh, even just that card, I love this energy for the Warrior. Yeah, and like looking at even just, there's kind of a busy energy. Yeah, because that's what you're doing. Worrying, you're cluttering. Yeah, it's a very busy energy compared to this. The Eternal Child, the Warrior versus the Worrier. Ooh. Hold on. And then in the morning video, I talked about innocence in no sense. To be innocent, to be pure, that unadulterated, childlike joy and wonder. And also children, they commit to the act. Everything is present, and they commit wholly to it. When they got their silly pants on, they commit fully. When they're having a meltdown and feeling all of their feelings, they commit wholly. Yeah, this is about committing wholly. Oh, I love this card. This image right now is really, I don't know how to describe it. It's just refreshing. It just feels open. Yeah. And see, this is really reminding me of the pentagram, like the devil energy. And I'm sure there's more to this card. We'll read and look into it. And I'm sure there's some beautiful, but in regards to what we're saying, in terms of a visualization, yeah, very busy, too frenetic, clutter. We got kind of like the upside pentagram, very, yeah, devilish, because it's fear-based, and it's wanting to be in control. Hold tightly. But even look at this child's hands. Oh, this actually looks like my son's hands. Those little chubby fingers. Oh, God. The amount of times I've kissed his hands and his toes. Oof. If you haven't kissed a pair of baby toes, man, you don't even know what you're missing. I mean, maybe if you don't like children. I guess so. But what about cats and dogs? Those little beans that they have? Oof. Okay. I don't know why I felt that. I wasn't really thinking, but we pulled the storm. Okay, we're going to stay with those three. I've been really on the 3 vibe. Okay. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, all right, all right. Here we go. Here we go. Anima Mundi. It's the last card in the deck. I've never pulled this one. And the other day, when we had Gnosis, I was saying it's almost the last card. This is the last card. The soul of the world, all that is. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle, accept all, reject none. Going back to power and control, trying to believe that we can control all outcomes or to sway it our way. Sometimes you just have to go and accept, maybe I don't know what's in my highest and greatest good for all right now. Maybe there's things that I just cannot possibly see. Who am I to say I know what's best? What about if I just allowed, I just accepted, I just surrendered to this moment? And again, instead of being like this, you know, like, fuck you, you know, to be like, arms wide open. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all of its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied embrace. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. And this ties into my other video, the prime number theorem. Where like, you yourself are your own song that's always changing. That the universe, like life is a song. All of these songs are being played. It's mysterious. You're not meant to solve it. You're meant to make sense of it. Anima Mundi is the energy behind the world card in the tarot deck. Both carry themes of universal unity, completeness, and embrace. The embrace of anima mundi is available anytime, anywhere, to anyone, day or night, rich or poor. It is a process of unveiling our resistance to its love. Fuck yeah! Oh, man, just beautiful. The Eternal Child, 69. There's also 69 is the crab, so Cancer. Maybe some reviewer Cancers. Okay. Let's have a sip of water about it. Give thanks for the day. Hold on. Chapstick. Okay. Yeah. Give thanks for this day. Give a little sip of coffee about it, because heck, why not? Okay. So this is for the warrior. The eternal child is connected to the timeless, ageless, and infinite aspects of life. It is radiant and fearless and seeks joy above all else and at any cost. Yes. It struggles being bound to an aging body with physical limitations in a world that demands attention to detail and logistics. The eternal child wants to nix all rules and responsibilities and go beyond what others say is possible. Exactly. He wants to return, with plenty of friends, to the land of the free, where divine wine and creativity pour from the earth and sky. We all want a sip from the well of eternal youth, and this makes the eternal child naturally popular, perhaps even famous. The eternal child glimmers. Oh yeah, innocence. Yeah. The eternal child glimmers. It reminds us of what is possible, what is magical about this precious life. Celebrity culture is based heavily on this archetype, as is the phrase, live hard, die young, and the series of artists and musicians who died at 27. And the other day, the 27 was coming through so strong. It's just weird. Sometimes, yeah, maybe there is no connection. It's just weird, though, where every single day, I think for the past 3 weeks, like, I've done at minimum 1 video, but usually 3 videos a day. And even when it seems like there's no connection, I'm telling you, like, as the reader who's also sitting, I'm just the bus driver. I'm getting the same information as you, sometimes at the same time. We're unraveling a mystery together, but every single one, even when they don't seem connected, they are all connected. It's just bizarre and beautiful. This archetype is so spirited that when its appetite for life is insatiated, it seeks spirits and substance elsewhere. The eternal child struggles with addictions of all varieties. And I talked about this in my energetic reading. And I even said alcohol is called spirits for a reason. Ooh, okay, well, let's get into the storm. Storm, where are you? The storm. The chaos, the whirlwind, the disorder. Possessing an energy much like the tarot's Tower card, the storm undoes all that is. Everything that was solid, known, and relied upon is stripped away by the winds of fate. The ground becomes the sky becomes the center, and then the center disappears. The storm is a great equalizer. No matter how far we've come on the path, no matter our age, wealth, or wisdom, we can't hide from its savage winds. Their disturbing howls stir anxiety and make it impossible to see and think straight. You must wait it out. If you try to fight the storm, you will lose. A better option is to seek temporary shelter and a reliable friend. What was I just saying about friendship? And also, wasn't I just talking about the storm? And like, just stay limber, stay loose, be like the willow tree. Because what doesn't bend breaks. When all else fails, go within. There for a moment, you settle into the eye of the storm. The storm lays bare the truth that there are forces larger than you. This understanding is a relief, but also a predicament of power that requires your surrender. Guys, holy fuck, I'm telling you, I just feel like I'm repeating myself again and again because fuck every video. It's just, we're touching on all these subjects. I love it though. I'm here for it. Okay. The storm's intention is to rebalance your equilibrium, your emotional barometer. It is a result of precarious conditions, not the cause of them. This is what I'm saying. We can't control. The only thing we can control is ourselves. The only thing we can control is the mastery over mind and emotion, how we choose to react or respond in the world. That's it. We can only control our own decisions of what we want to do with the information and how we want to be. That's it. You know? Okay. Oh, I just love this card. I'm going to put this one on my own. I love all three. The Storm. Yeah, this eternal child. It's kind of like harnessing all three. Again, like the triune, the triangle. 369. Because I believe it was in this morning's reading too, where the Tower card that I pulled out is from the Little Witch deck. And she's the one with the witch wand. She's the one who initiated the Tower. Where she's like, fuck it. I'll initiate it. Yeah, this isn't working. Where I'll beat you to the punch, universe. Before you come in and rush in, I will equally participate. Well, it feels pretty good. Is there anything else, Spirit? I feel like we could just keep it simple. I'm trying to keep it a bit simpler, a little bit shorter in time. Yeah. Any last messages? I feel like there's one last message. What's the last message? Is it from this deck? They kind of want me to go back to old Kimmy. Is it from this deck? I don't know. I feel like there's one last thing that needs to be mentioned. What is it? Oh. Okay, I know. So this came up as a download a few nights ago, and I keep forgetting. I guess it wasn't the time. I was cooking something in the kitchen, and I think I had like a TV show on or like a podcast. And then they showed me. Oh no, I've been really nerding out on blacksmithing, how to melt metals, whatever. I like making stuff. I'm a Gemini. Research and doing a million things is what I live for. So they were showing me when I was boat building in Maine. We'd have huge planks of wood, but in order to put on the jig for the boat, we had a big steamer for our wood that needed to be bent into place. And so Spirit really wanted to talk about that. Taking a hard wood or an element, something that normally, again, going back to bending and breaking. Oh, look at that. Look at the connection. See? Fuck, I love this shit. Bending. Okay, so if you were to take a dry hardwood, a normal plank, if you were to try to bend it into shape on the jig, just as is, that force, because you would be fighting against it. You'd be trying to make it malleable, but through force, brute force. Yeah. Oh, Spirit, fuck, why do I ever doubt? This is what I mean. I do this shit all day long, and I still sometimes foray into the force of lack of faith, lack of trust, a little bit of doubt, a little bit of, I don't think you know what you're doing up there, I better take over. Jesus, you took the wheel, I'm going to take it back. So For our planks of wood, we had a steamer, and we'd put it in. And yeah, using the elements of water and fire, again, an alchemical process, something that normally would snap under pressure, by using an alchemical process, and this one it's very simple, it's just fire, just steam. Steaming it to the right point, and then putting it on and clamping it into place. And you can make all kinds of crazy shapes with wood that normally couldn't go into that shape. So you see, there's this emphasis on hardness. And this ties into that message too, going back to what Spirit was saying yesterday about micromanaging your healing. Always feeling the need to fix yourself. What happens if you just said, hey, you know what? Right now, I hate wrinkles. This whole channel is about me not being in my perfectionism. Just, I don't overthink it. I put it out, don't care. And it's not that I don't care. I do care, but not in this way that's in the extreme, because I can care sometimes too much. Perfectionism, again, controlling. Okay. Oh yeah, so micromanaging the healing. Open palms, soft. In every aspect of your life, look at where you're doing this. Whether it's with food, addictions, relationships, ideology, how you talk to yourself, how you feel about other people, it's either you're open palmed or you're closed. Closed fist, open palm. Going back to emotional barometer, if you want to keep it really simple, you just have to ask yourself, is the energy I'm in right now, is it open palm or closed palm? Now, I talk about this a lot because I believe in it, but the most important thing is the self-honesty. So I'll use this as an example, and going back to Maine, before we would get going for the morning, because we lived on site, it was an apprenticeship, I was there for about 9 months, it was real rural, but man, we had this beautiful land, we were in the deep forest, and there was this one tree. So every morning, before it was time for breakfast, before the bell rang, to be like, all right, let's do breakfast, let's get ready for the day to be building, I would just go up to the tree, what I call a spiritual tete-a-tete. Now, the most important thing I cannot stress enough is that talk from your heart, but be honest. So some mornings when I get up and I do a spiritual tete-a-tete, do a little check-in, and I'm speaking from the heart, ooh, if I'm not feeling it, I just start there. I'll be like, you know what? I'm feeling bitchy, I'm feeling irritated, I want to kick someone in the teeth. Like, do you know what I mean? I just start with where I'm at. I don't feel grateful. I fucking hate everything. I feel like everything's a shit smear. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Now, this isn't about getting caught in a loop. It's about starting with honesty. Because then, how I follow it up is, I say exactly what the honest thing is. To be like, this is the honest truth of what I'm perceiving and experiencing. But this is where I would like to be, you know? So I can't stress enough, even if you're not feeling it, start there. But give it to a container. For me, I work with spirits. I work with God. I work with all the things. Nature too. Give it. Say like, hey, this is more than I can bear. This is more than I can hold. Also, if I'm to be honest, it's not the energy I want to be in. So it's where I'm at currently, but I know that this is where I want to be. I want to be grounded and rooted in love right now. I want to be in alignment with patience, you know? You just call in what you want to be experiencing, even if you aren't there in the moment. Because that honesty is going to put you into this open palm. Especially when you follow it up with, like, this is what's happening, but I know in my heart of hearts this is where I'd like to be. And that's where I find always the softening happens. Everything's lip service. You know, if you can't be honest, it's just lip service. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. Being on a spiritual path is like, again, it's not about perfectionism. In fact, some of the angriest, most anxious, worried people I know are Buddhists. You know, I was actually talking to a friend the other day about it. And I say this with love, because what's beautiful about that is it's people who've recognized within themselves, but they know where they want to be. They want to be on the peaceful path. And it's not like you just go, okay, I've decided to be spiritual. I believe in this thing. And so everything's just going to be like fixed. Again, fixed, perfect today. I'm just going to have it all figured out. Whoa, candle went out. Let's not. Like, fuck, I've been on this path for a long time. Oh, and there's always room to learn and grow, isn't there? Like, even when you know, you don't know. That's why ritual's so important. Because there's something about this beautiful human mind of ours. We forget every second. And part of that muscle memory, why devotion, discipline, it's about building up the muscle memory so that when you're in a real shitstorm, things come naturally, you know? Yeah. Just remember, even when you're not perfect, you're perfect just the way that you are. For some reason, this wax is really reminding me, especially from this side. Oh yeah, it's got a real bird. It's like also like a bird claw, like a talon, but from the way I'm seeing it, I see both crow and eagle, depending on which side. Yeah, birds. I mean, I'm a bird guy, so they always show up. I mean, I'm an animal guy. I've got all my animals. Got a lot of bear. But yeah, all the animals. I just love them. And I work with all different kinds at different stages. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, take out there. And just remember, detracted. Open, you know? Are you open? Are you detracted? Are you expansive? Are you allowing? And just don't be too hard on yourself. If you observe something within yourself that you feel like you could do incrementally better, just approach it from that. Just say, okay, I see this thing. I've witnessed this thing within myself. And you decide how much increment you want to give to that. And just like a boat, if you just change the direction by like half a degree, just a bit, and this analogy has been used for a while, but it's so true, and it may not look immediately like you're changing any direction, but those little increments, those little hairs, man, 12 hours later, you're in a completely different direction. Just do better than you did last time, even if it's just by a hair. Instead of telling someone to go fuck themselves, you just give a little wink, and you go, and you say it in your head, but you don't say it out loud. Or maybe you are someone who's punched people in the nose, that's your go-to, and now you're on this path of like, I don't want to be violent. I can see how punching people in the nose is probably not the most effective thing, even if I do believe that they deserve to punch in the nose. I don't know your story. There's all kinds of people in the world. Okay, that's it. Bye.